Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. Now today's video, or I should say today's theme, is all about priorities because this is exactly what this game is. For me, yes, the midweek adventures, the European nights are special and they give us something that you don't often get, but this right here, the SPFL, is the bread and butter and it needs to be our main focus and it needs to be where our best performances come from. So hopefully we return and play several notches higher than we did midweek. Now before we do carry on with the rest of the video, there is something I need to say to you guys watching today's video. We are less than 50 away from 56k people. That is incredible, and again it's beyond insanity now, but it never ever gets lost on me, so thank you so much for all your support recently. And again, if you are a part of the 50.1% of the regular viewers who tune in to every video not hitting that subscribe button, please consider doing so this time and help us reach that magical number 56, which is going to be on our lips throughout today's video as we sharpen in and close in on tomorrow's dance partner. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive in to the oppositional preview and have a look at a St Mirren side who at my current time of recording are sitting third in the old SPFL. Now I said what I said, don't adjust your headphones, don't adjust your sound. I said St Mirren Football Club are sitting in third 8 games through the actual season, and to people who's not been paying attention and only really look at our results through the year, that will be a real shock and surprise. But to anyone peeking beyond the curtain, checking in on the real Oz, you'll know that this is well and truly deserved for St Mirren because they are one of the most dangerous and informed teams in the country right now. Don't believe me, just ask Celtic Football Club, who St Mirren in the first team in a year to actually beat Celtic domestically, put them to the sword, and this wasn't a fluky result or one of those games for Celtic. No, St Mirren well and truly deserved that 3 points and were the better side from the first whistle to the last. And yeah, as I just mentioned, they are one of the most informed teams. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give them the title of the most informed team in the SPFL through the last 5 games because only Celtic matched their record of 4 wins in the last 5, and considering St Mirren put Celtic to the sword and kept a clean sheet against them, I'm going to give this win to St Mirren and all that as well because they have been excellent through the last 5 games, beating the likes of Dundee United, who to be fair everyone beats these days, and by God is it glorious. But they've also beat Hibs, they beat Livingston, and of course they beat Celtic. The only team to beat them over the last 5 games was St Johnstone, and a game of football that St Johnstone thumped St Mirren 3-0 in one of those coupon busters against all odds, against all form. St Johnstone pulled their scants down, and it was just one of those weird wonderful nights. But again, that wasn't their most recent game. Their most recent game was that 2-1 win versus Livingston. So they got beat off St Johnstone, they beat Celtic, they beat Livingston, now they're coming up the road. Hopefully we see more of a St Johnstone performance rather than the latter. But there will be a team that's coming into Ibrox full of confidence and belief, because coming to the likes of Ibrox doesn't change or adjust them at all. This is a side that knows exactly who they are, what their style is, and how they're going to go about their business. And that for me is a fundamental in every single football club, no matter what level you play at or what you want to achieve in a season. If you know exactly who you are and what you bring to the table, you can hurt anyone. That's what they've done all season long, because this isn't a team that's going to get out and try and do fancy stuff and look this. No, this is a team that is going to park the bus. This is a team that's going to run hard, work their arse off, hit long diagonals to a Curtis Main, to a Ayonga, who are willing runners, and especially Ayonga, who gave himself so much praise and so much plaudits for his performance versus Celtic. Again, big, physical, run the channels, win so many cheap free kicks, whether it is even a corner kick that he's able to rattle out, or this long throw, which has been one of their most dangerous. It's almost like Stoke. Do you remember years and years ago under the capped, by the way, shout out to Tony Pulis, the capped Tony Pulis, that long throw from Delap? Well, that's what St Mirren is bringing back in. It is not pretty football, it is not glorious football, but it's effective. And if you didn't believe me, just look at the table. And with that being said, I'm not going to surprise anyone to tell you this team will be playing a 5-3-2 tomorrow. I don't care if it says 3-5-2 on paper. Trust me, when that whistle goes, that will drop to a 5-3-2, maybe even a 5-4-1 as well, by the way, because that's what they went after Celtic that way, flooding the middle of the park, keeping the one guy in there and running them to the channels to again win that long throw. So it is the classic test of Scottish football, but it's a test that Rangers teams should be more than capable of doing. And that's it. I'm going to give a lot of credit to St Mirren because I think they've found a new way to win under Robinson, and I think the resurgence of Declan Gallagher as well, who's big, who's physical, who knows all about frustrating the life out of us. How many times has a Robinson-Declan Gallagher partnership frustrated us, took points off us during their time at Motherwell? They'll know exactly what they'll be looking to do, and again, it's on Rangers to take the game away for them and put this team to the actual sword. That would be absolutely delicious. But aye, that's all I've got to say about St Mirren. Very, very impressed with them. It's ugly, but it's effective. Only if you allow it. And I honestly think that's the right mindset and the perspective we need to have, not only as fans, but players and all that as well. Because despite all my praise and plaudits, and trust me, St Mirren deserve a lot of that because of what they've done this season, they will only get something from this game of football if Rangers allow them to get something from this game. And I mean it in terms of how we approach and go about our business. If we're slow, if we allow this game to fizzle out and we just start passing it from side to side to side, waiting for a Robinson St Mirren side to come out and press to try and create gaps, it's absolute madness. Spoiler alert for tomorrow's video, they will not come out there and put pressure on Rangers at all when we're doing all that. They'll sit there, they'll be very disciplined, and they'll wait for their mark to try and counter-attack this Rangers side with the long ball. They're not going to get naive and start putting pressure on and allow us to pick through them. That's just not what it's going to be. So hopefully Gio has more in his locker than just that and waiting for the right time. This is a game that you need to put the foot down on the pedal, go for the throats and start very aggressively. Very similar to the way we started the game versus Hearts. That was much, much better from what I've seen from a Rangers side in a long time. But it now can't be an anomaly. It needs to be the standard of how we go about our business. And again, if there was ever a game that you need to start aggressive on the front foot, it's again, I think I said fruit there, on the front foot, I should say, sorry. It is tomorrow's game versus the stubborn, disciplined St Mirren side. And to anyone who watched the press conference, we got a wee tickle, a little tease from Giovanni Van Bronckhorst that we might just see that tomorrow, as he went on record to say both Alfredo Morelos and Antonio Cholak can play together. That is completely different than what he said a couple of weeks ago when he was adamant how he went about his business and how he was setting up his squad. Well, something's changed over the last couple of weeks. It must be the insane form of Antonio Cholak and Morelos looking back to his best. It's got Gio thinking, can I put them together? And apparently what he's told all of us is he can. So will we finally get to see this Rangers team no be bothered about being pretty, no being bothered about setting up nice on paper, but be bothered about just being an attacking juggernaut that they should be at this level, Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. The dream, the tease of Cholak and Morelos playing together may just happen. But do I think it will? And I'll go into more detail in a minute or two why I don't think it's going to be just yet, but again, fingers crossed it will be. But regarding the rest of the team, people, I don't have too much to actually say regarding breaking it down, how I want Rangers to approach it. I've kind of touched on it. It needs to be aggressive. We need to get people forward and we need to get people in the box. I think this is the type of game that screams for a Scotty Arfield to make runs in the box. I'd love to see Tillman be played centrally as well. I know everyone's turned on him. I know everyone's sort of washing their hands and saying all this and this, but he's a 20-year-old kid who's been flung on the right wing. He's not a quick player. He's not a fast player, and we put him on the right wing at Anfield versus the way they like to bomb forward with their fullbacks. For me, we threw him under the bus with that type of thing. Let's get him back playing centrally because he showed against PSV. Are they a bad side? Do they not play quickly? No. But we played him in his preferred position and he was absolutely outstanding. So the notion that either he can't play against good sides or he can't play against teams that play quickly or he can't do this is nonsense. They played against PSV, who are one of the most informed teams in Europe, because we played them where his best position actually is. Honestly, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills every single time I need to sit and say that. And again, I'd just like to see him given an opportunity to play where he's best. Even if he isn't starting him more, at least bring him on and let him play behind the striker. Let's just see the young laddie doing what he can bring to the table. But speaking of bring to the table, very short and very sweet, my two centre-backs, Davies and Goldson. That's the partnership. The best we've looked all season long was at Tynecastle in that first half when Davies and Goldson got to play 45 minutes. So I would like to see that relationship develop more. I know a lot of people will say King, and hell, we might see a 3-5-2 at some point with Davies, Goldson and Leon King, that's something I'd be very interested to see. But right now, where we are in the season, we spent the money on Davies. It needs to be him and Goldie, because I think Goldson plays the best when he doesn't need to worry about who's next to him, and he's playing alongside someone who's as calm as he is on the football. And that's two ball-playing centre-backs, and it just gives us a different dimension to her team. So that for me is how I would dress the Davies, Goldson, Leon King debate. I think King's got a brilliant future at this football club, but right now in terms of league football, it's got to be the two established players. Bring King in for the cup games, build him up that way. And again, if we are switching formation, that's when you bring the laddie in. But that's all I've really got to say regarding the team and how they're going about their business. Everyone knows I'm Cholak, so if we're only playing one striker, it's got to be the man who just scores goals for fun. But aye, let's get to some team news then, shall we, and paint the rest of the picture for tomorrow's game. We have Tom Lawrence, who's out till after the World Cup now, because the lad picked up an injury ahead of Liverpool. Not great to hear, but again, he's out. So then Hollander, Hadji, Suter, again, all still long-term injuries. James Sands returns from suspension after obviously picking up what he picked up. But again, I wouldn't like to see him flung right in to centre-back again. We've got centre-backs that can header the football. Can we just play them? Can we? Can we please? And everyone else is good to go and ready to be selected. So right now, I asked you on Tuesday night, and I'm asking you right now, Rabi Matondo, Fashion Sakala, what you thinking ahead of this game? Now, I know what you're going to say. There's not going to be much room. We're against a part the bus side. They're not going to have room to gallop into. That's the biggest asset. Well, I almost disagree with that as well, because to me, we've always played against teams that part the bus throughout the years and years and years, but we've had some good attacking players. What I think they bring to the table is a direct attack first mindset that could be the difference in turning 1 point into 3 points. And again, whether they start or not, I would like to see them given more opportunities in this Rangers team, just to kick up other people's arses to get them back performing in that as well. So I think they're going to have their impact and say, and again, for those who say they've not got much room to gallop into, I think if they're actually just running, committing people, that's doing more of a job than sitting, turning it, passing and hoping for a full-back to put it in the mixer. And you might have noticed I left this right to the very end because we touched on it earlier, the Colac Alfredo Morelos situation, because Kamal Roof has been back full-time training with the first team. So he's edging closer, and I think his return gives us more of an opportunity to play a Cholak and Morelos together. Maybe that's why Giovanni is thinking they change now, because if something goes wrong, he's got another striker there now, because if they just played them both and they got injured, who's coming on? So I think Roof's return is going to give us more of an attacking lease on life, not only in terms of him, but what we can do with our squad. And I am pretty excited, ladies and gentlemen, for tomorrow. It is a very tough test. It isn't going to be a walk in the park, but this is the games you have to go and put a statement on, put pressure on others. Let's build it up now, and let's fricking go back to scaring the death out of these teams that come up the road to our house at Ibrox. And that's all I'm going to say about tomorrow's opposition. Very, very impressed, but very, very impressed with us and how we looked versus Hearts as well. So what about you? Let me know down there in the comment section below. I want to know your thoughts ahead of the game. Who do you want to see, and what your prediction is going to be? My scoreline is going to be big, people. Rangers 3, St Mirren 0. Believe in the team, get the job done, up the road Cholak with a couple more goals. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow after the game, I've been CJ192. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.